Hello there YouTube, Free Russia channel speaking. Without wasting your time, let's jump to a live map. The bloody battle of Bakhmut is still raging on. Russians are trying to attack from multiple directions, but their attacks are being repelled by Ukrainian army. Russia continues its fighting in Bakhmut city itself, but Ukrainian armies are repelling their attacks day by day. As a result, Russian casualties are piling up high. Russian attempts at encircling Bakhmut and cutting off their supply towards Jasif Yar seems to be stopped by Ukrainian armies. Russia have no major gains on this front. Russian army continues their attack towards these directions. It seems like they want to pass these rivers right here and go towards Liman. The city of Liman is a very painful topic for Russian army because it was one of the last cities Russia had to leave when they were fleeing from Kharkiv Oblast. Overall, this offensive can be lethal for Ukraine, and they have to address this threat accordingly. Also, Russian army are trying to attack towards these directions right here. It seems like they are trying to attack along this road that leads to Seversk. However, they are unable to achieve any tactical or strategical victories around Seversk for a long time. Russia claims more territories captured around Vuhledar, somewhere around here, but this was not proven by other sources. Overall, no major development on this direction. Russian attempt at freeing Mariinka from Ukrainian army had failed once again. At least half of the city is controlled by Ukrainians. The city itself is nearly destroyed. On a sad note, an American volunteer aid worker, Pete Reed, was killed in eastern European city of Bakhmut on Tuesday while aiding civilians. Yesterday, GRM founder Pete Reed was killed in Bakhmut, Ukraine. Pete was a bedrock of GRM, serving as a board president for 4 years. In January, Pete stepped away from GRM to work with Global Outreach Doctors under Ukraine mission and was killed while rendering aid. Now to a more fun and inspiring news. Ukrainian tank crews quick to master the Challenger 2 in training, UK Defense Ministry says. About this, I have a suspicion that these Ukrainian tankers were trained to drive Challenger 2s and even Abrams and Leopards long before any tanks were agreed to be sent to Ukraine. It would make much more sense, and some YouTubers also spoke in that direction. What this means to Ukraine is that crews can immediately start their operations. It would shorten the time for tanks to be adapted into Ukrainian army and used against Russian army. Now let's go to my experimental segment of the video where we touch Russian news and their response towards certain things. This article says here that American colonel and war expert Daniel Davis is sure that new European and American tanks will not change anything on Ukrainian front. He is saying that untrained crews can't do much with this new modern equipment. Again, I want to say that Russian news are very obsessed about all this news. They are very interested in showing alternative views in America, in Europe, in Ukraine. And that's how they manipulate their people into believing that this war might end faster than they think. The thing about these tanks and overall increasement of supply to Ukraine is that Russian army, although now massing a lot of troops, these troops are lacking any experience at all. These are freshly mobilized, they don't have any previous war experience, and they will have hard time defending from Ukrainians. There is no talks of attacks. That's why most troops that are used to storm Bakhmut are Wagner groups. Because regular Russian army at this point is extremely weak and inexperienced, not to say undersupplied. So if Ukraine were to mass those tanks at one direction and strike without force, it can probably punch through deep into Russian defense lines. So this is it for today. Again, pretty short, but there's not much things going on the front. I want to thank all subscribers and those who pushed like buttons. You are motivating me to do better and to do more. I am still in search of sources and information and all that kind of stuff because it is very hard to find objective information. If you like my content, please subscribe, like, comment. Have a good day, and always remember, Russia will be free.